that we are really lucky to have invited our dear Getting, the dietitian from Simple Balanced Nutrition, to share this with us. Let's put our hands together to welcome Miss
Hello.
Getting.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi. Great to see you again.
Yes, great to see you again. I'm really excited to be the last speaker in last day. Speaking this can be quite serious topic and also kind of help guide parents through this kind of tough periods when come to picky eating.
Yes. Yeah, I can totally feel it. I feel so sorry to my mommy.
Yeah. But now you become good.
So
you eat your veggies now?
Yeah, I do. I improved a lot.
That's good. Yes.
Okay, so without further ado, we'll pass this whole screen to Miss Getting right here, and then I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you later. All right. Hi, how are you guys in the afternoon? So I'm eating. I'm a dietitian. I'm glad that I will be the last speaker in these sessions and talking my favorite topic, which is the picky eating. So without further ado, we just want to share my screens, and so then you guys can get into this slide right away. All right. So can you guys see the slide? Great. Okay, so as Jolie introduced me, I'm a dietitian. I am the founder of Simple Balanced Nutrition. So my favorite topic is usually talk about childhood nutrition and picky eater, or any topic related to children. So I'm very, very grateful that I've been invited to be the guest speaker today. I just want to share some tips and strategy for the parents who has been struggle with picky eating. It can be quite difficult when you come to living with a picky eater in the house. So I hope that by the end of the slide today or end of the session today, you guys learn something from me. So let's do, if you guys couldn't see my slide moving, then just let me know. All right, so I'm going to show you how to make the shift from feeling frustrated and lost with an unhealthy eater. So to understanding the big picture about food and feeding kids that will not only nourish your kids and help them grow a healthy relationship with foods. So it will make you feel like a rock star parent, probably by the end of the session today. So do you guys have any picky eater at home? So if you guys do have picky eater at home, I hope you guys leave me a comment and just write, yes, I probably is a picky eater when I was a children, and now I'm parents and I do have to raise another picky eater again. I'm struggling. I just want to know who's out there as a parent who live with a picky eater right now and struggling and facing all kind of difficult difficult scenario like drama during the mealtime. So leave me a comment down there. Okay, so I'm going to read some quotes for you guys. This is the quotes that I usually hear from my clients, or lots of moms, they write email or Instagram or Facebook to me, and this is the favorite quote, and I have most of the parents right here for me. The first thing the parents say, my daughter's finally took a bite of the carrots, but then she took it out of her mouth. So she's not swallowing the whole thing. So the parents is kind of worried. And one of the parents yesterday she wanted more tomato, today she refused them. So do you guys have that kind sound familiar to you? So he's never used to eat salmon, but now he's asked for it. My son will eat yogurt at school, but not at home. Sometimes my son is just not that interested in eating. And some days she eat like a bird, but on the other day, she's like the bottomless pit. My daughters pick and choose at mealtime. So she had some rice and fish, but she totally ignored the carrots. So does this sound really familiar for you? Like, this is like usually happen in your house? So if you do have that kind of thing happen, I want you to like write in the comments and let me know that you've been struggling like this kind of thing every single day, or even probably every single meal time. Okay, so this is like very, very common, and I see lots of parents like writing questions to me and want me to find, like guide them or maybe give them strategy right away. All right, and so yeah, so by the end of the session today, probably you stay until the end. I just want to know, what is your bigger concern? So when I kind of want to talk about picky eating topic, I just want to know what's parents like most concerned. I think in most Asian parents, then if you have the answer, maybe you can write A, B, C, or D, or maybe you have more concern, you can write down in the comment sections. I just want to know. So for example, A, you are very concerned about your kids not getting enough calories or missing nutrients, like they're not eating a certain thing on their mealtime, they want to be vegetarians and things like that. So are they getting enough of nutrients? Or B, maybe they are eating too much. Maybe they're eating too much of calories from low nutrients junk food. So they are like asking for snack or junk food all the time and things like that. And this number C is the long-term picky eating habits. They maybe affect their emotionally. So emotionally, which means that the kids, when they come to table, they usually throw tantrums. So they're very upset when seeing this is not what they want to eat, and they're crying, they're screaming. And physically, usually it's present like the kids is not growing very well. They look sick all the time. And they're very skinny, they're very tiny, they're not following their growth pattern. And socially, which means that the kids is very social isolated. So when they come to like birthday party or at school or maybe in the family gathering, so the kids is like, everything is not their favorite food. So they couldn't even stay in the party. The food they offer, the food they ask for takeout is not something the kids want, and they definitely couldn't go to any birthday party at all. So let me know which like concern is resonate to you. So if you want to write down your answer, maybe by the end of the session, then we can give you some Q&A. Or maybe other, like some parents maybe worry about their kids' weight or their kids, what happened, why they're doing so great in the daycare, why they're not doing great in the home. And some parents struggle with like home cooked meal, especially during this special period of time, like MCO, like every parents have to like cook at home, or maybe like only 1 or twice a week that you take out. Yeah, so write down your answer. Okay, so don't worry. So I'm definitely gonna give you some tips and strategies to go away today. You are staying like right until the end. I'll definitely give you some answer, and you are in the right place. So if you definitely feel guilty and frustrated about what your child wants and eats, and you are coming into the right place to get your answer, and if you like feel like the drama and the fights and pushback and mealtime is stealing all the joy, when you guys sit down, the kids is crying and then throwing tantrums, and definitely the mealtime is not like happy place to be, right? So you feel like your child is on a very unhealthy path. So you want to change it, but you don't know how to. You struggle and you don't know who to tell, who to talk to, and you feel stuck with unhealthy food, like your partner, your family members keep buying the unhealthy foods, and definitely to make the eating habit is very like going to is a wrong way, right? So, and you try everything. Definitely, this is like all parents, the dietitians, when they come to consult me, dietitian usually is the last resource, and then they already try every single thing. They try what their neighbor told them. They try their coworker tell them like what to do, the mom group, internet, and they try every single thing, but nothing works. So you are in the right place. So today I'm gonna share some secrets probably you never hear before, and nobody tell you before like what to do. So today I'm going to give you a few tips, then probably you can turn your picky eater to a little bit healthy eater, but not like super healthy eater at the beginning, but probably in the long run. So like I tell you guys, I'm a dietitian. I'm on a mission to help parents like you to raise a very healthy eater. So the healthy eater can understand the food balance and enjoy eating. And you can navigate our complicated food world easily. So I'm here to help, all right? So today, we are going to talk about, so you hear probably you go out to lots of conference or maybe internet. The article usually tell you like, okay, what to feed your children. But nobody never ever told you how you're gonna feed your children. So today, what we will be doing is we will talk about how you feed your children to understand your child as like rather than talking about okay, what nutrients, what kind of food, what kind of superfood to feed them. So it may be seem very unusual for you to hear like, oh, the dietitian talk about how to feed the children, but this is what we're going to talk about how you're going to do. So the focus will definitely give you a less control during the mealtime and what your child eat. Okay, so by relaxing you about the food rules, like you want to be the food police, like, you know, chasing your kids and like what to eat and how much to eat. But today we're gonna tell you relax, okay, to trust your children, and then your children will build a very good, strong relationship with the food, which can last a lifelong, okay? Oh, sorry, I think I jumped back. So the fundamental for the whole relationship is based on trust, okay? It's based on trust. So it's dependent on how much you trust your children. They can finish the meal or they like the food. So if the parents is not to trust the children rather than control, so that can kind of like the whole structure, the relationship will be like damaged, okay? So today I'm gonna throw you something, maybe can shock you, maybe can make you like to rethink about what you usually done in your meal during your meal time. So first, I want to introduce this one. This model is called divisions of responsibility in feeding. So this is your feeding rules, okay? So as a parent, our job is to decide it, what food is served to our children, okay? So we are the gatekeeper. So we keep the healthy food in home. Unhealthy food, sometimes foods, it's just kind of sometime, okay? We decided what food to serve to our children, and we decided what time to feed them, okay? And where to feed our children, okay? So this is your rules. You might want to really restructure about that because a lot of picky eating family, the thing is, what happened is the picky eater usually asks what they want and what time they want to eat and where they want to eat. So when the children take control of your job, so which means the whole relationship is reversed. So now you want to reverse back to your feeding rules. So parents, as a parents or caregiver, even like the granny, right? Your grandparents or maybe the daycare teacher, thing like that. So you want to keep your job as a what food you offer, what time you offer the food, and where you're gonna offer the food. And then your children's job is only decided whether they want to eat and how much they want to eat. And then you can see very clear in the picture here. So you see my first picture here, that the parents decided to give them the broccoli and the rice and some chickens. And you see the children's picture right there. And the children, where they can decide that they want to eat the whole thing or not, or they probably not gonna touch anything. So this is not your job. So when you're preparing the food, when you're cooking everything, you put it all on the table, your job, your feeding rules is done. So now it's turn to your kids to decide it, how much they want to eat. Maybe they just want to eat one broccoli. They just want to eat like a couple tablespoons of rice or a couple bites of the meat. So that's their job to decide how much they want to eat, okay? So fundamentals to the parent job is to trusting your children to determine how much and whether they want to eat the food or not. So when the parents do the job right, when you do your feeding job, which is providing the food, and your children will do the eating job. So when this relationship built based on the trust, So when it comes to piggy eating, you are more relaxing because you no more control about like how much you should eat, or how maybe you should clean your plate, or maybe you should eat that much of like 3 bites more for the rice or for the veggies. Then you are more relaxing when it comes to feeding. Okay, so I show you this graph and like this picture. So you know, as your feeding rules as a parent, you choose and you serve the food. So you are the gatekeeper to keep the healthy foods in the house. You provide a regular meal and snack. Okay, so you have a very set schedule, a structure, and you make the mealtime like happy and fun, not like crying and upsets and throwing tantrums and angry face and stuff like that. Okay, show your children how to behave at mealtime. So our parent job is to teach our children how to properly use the utensil and sitting on the high chair and not saying like the bad comment on the food, like this is yucky or this is not good, I don't like that. So we are teaching our kids how to behave well at mealtime. And we also maintain the structure. So which is you provide a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like water in between. So no more junk food in between throughout the day. And you let your child grow in their own way. So some children maybe grow a little bit bigger or smaller, but they follow their growth pattern. So we trust them that way. And your child job, very easy. So they just learn how to eat. They eat how much they need for their body, and they learn the food that you provide, and they learn how to behave well at mealtime. So you teach them, they learn from you. And they grow up to have a body that is right for them. So it's not the body that you want them to be, like to be a little bit chubby or to a little bit like bigger or whatever. So the children will grow on their own way, follow their growth pattern. Okay. So when you have this relationship built up that way, then you want to look at your feeding style. Okay, so I think during the past week, maybe we have lots of different topic and talking about like parenting style, how you're gonna talk to your children, how you're gonna be a parent, how you're gonna like talk or maybe behave or maybe act in front of your children. But when it comes to feeding, same thing. We also need to look at what is your parenting with the feeding style. So I show you a picture. You probably want to comment down below and let me know what's resonate to you. What do you look like? Which kind of parenting, which kind of style, the feeding style is you, okay? So we have 4 types here. So basically, maybe you hear from some parenting workshop. They are basically the same, but we apply it in the feeding here. And when it comes to mealtime, when it comes to table. So at a table, some parent is very permissive, okay? So they just do like what the child want, like permissive. I'm talking about the left-hand side corner right there. So permissive, like the parents will buy and serve the food that their children demand, okay? So they set no limit and they just like go whatever the time and the where the children want to eat, and maybe make special food. Like the children say, I want chicken nugget tonight, I want french fries, I want noodles. The parents will just make whatever the children order, right? And they drink a lot of milk. And also they ignore like satiety signals. They don't, like the parents usually, they don't care about the children, they are full or they're hungry. And then they eat like this kind of like family, they eat the diet very low in nutrients, okay? And then we have the opposite, is the controlling. I think most parents is probably stay between the responsive and controlling right here. Like the parents is a good, like well-meaning parents. And then they usually try thinking that they're not putting pressure, but they are, like they're putting pressure, like bribing them or threatening the child, you need to clean your plates, okay? And the parent usually very restricted. They're not allowed the child to eat a certain thing, like for probably those kind of food is very low in nutrients. And the parents ignore the hunger and satiety signal, and they adjust the calories poorly, and they usually have mealtime battle. and the child don't like what the parents ask them to do, and so they usually like fight during the meal time. Okay, so we have this kind of two parents usually quite common, like you see picky eating usually from this kind of family. And but the uninvolved, I sometimes I see this kind of family too. Like the parents like totally ignore everything. They don't feed their children. They don't care. They don't have any mealtime structure at all. They just let the kids eat whatever, or they totally not like, even they don't not buying any grocery at all. Okay, so the responsive that we are talking about related to what we just show you, like the feeding rules, this kind of parents, they follow the DOR, which is the division of responsibility in feeding. So these parents, and they providing healthy food and set the mealtime rules, and everybody eat on the table, right? And so they be a role model to show the kids how to eat healthy, and they respond to child hunger signal. So they follow the schedule, the structure of the meal, and they guide the children eating. So they teach them how to behave well at the mealtime, how to use the utensil, and eat balanced diet. Especially the parents will kind of role model and eat a variety of the food, and they still eat sweet and dessert in moderation. So tell me, which kind of parentings, or when it comes to feeding, what kind of parentings that you are? Like, are you responsive? Are you controlling? Or are you permissive? Okay, so, or maybe you kind of in between. It's like, yeah, you have a structure, but you still pressure your kids to eat. You probably like in different scenario, like maybe on the weekend you're more like responsive, but on the weekday that you are more controlling. So you can stay between. Some parents, they are kind of like in between. So it's not like exactly you fall into one parenting style. And also if you have two or three kids in home, every kids that you are parents them can be different. Like some kids, they are more a happy eater, they eat whatever, so you don't have to be like really like responsive. You just like being permissive, like because the kids know how to follow the rules. But some kids is more like you need a little bit more control, so probably you need to be more responsive. You need to be more control. So like if you have two or three kids, maybe your parenting style would be a little bit different too for each child, like different child. Okay, so tell me, what is your feeding style? So for the win-win situations, is the responsive. Okay, so it's the responsive. So like you follow the feeding rules, and with a picky eater, you may feel that like when it comes to picky eating problem, so the parents maybe want to like, I want to find a magic pill, a magic like recipe, and I can cook tonight so my kids will eat it. It's not exactly what the food you eat, like you serve, is actually the way, is like how you're gonna feed them, like how you are going to feed them, how you are going to introduce the food to them, right? So the winning idea is to providing a variety of the food and including the food they are like along the way. So I'm gonna give you a few tips along the way, so then you probably can follow it. And so if you are responsive, you probably are not responsive, you're a little bit more controlling right now, and then you have a picky eater at home, maybe you need to change for the directions, like see, oh, is my child like taking my feeding rule right now? They are asking what to eat and what time to eat, where they want to eat, and I'm not in charge of the food. So maybe you want to reverse it. Maybe you want to like try to switch to the responsive way and follow your kids' lead, like you only controlling what food to offer, and your child decided how much, or whether they want to eat the whole thing or they just eat half of it, what you offer, right? Okay, so you can switch. You definitely can kind of like thinking about the feedback and thinking about what's going on in the house during the meal time. Okay, all right, so when come to kitchen, so let's look at some like helpful tips. Like when come to kitchens, what you can do, like as a parents, our feeding rules is to provide healthy food, right? So when come to kitchens, you want in your pantry or maybe in your fridge, you might want to stock up as much as variety of the healthy food as much as you can. Okay, so then your child will learn from you, like, hey, our house is full of healthy food. so then I can choose from what I have in the house and cook from there, right? And because during the MCO, everybody try to learn cooking in the house. And the big problem when it comes to picky eating is the short order cook. So what does that mean, short order cook? So which does that mean when it comes to the mealtime, the parents tonight, they already prepare, like let's say they have fried rice, and then they have some fish, they have some cooked vegetable ready for the supper or the dinner time. And the kids decided, no, I don't want to eat rice. I want to eat noodles. Then the parents thinking, oh, then I cannot let my children to go starving, right, until the next day or what. So they're not gonna eat the fried rice, then I'm going to go ahead and cook some noodles for them. So which means that you have to get yourself extra job to cook another different meal for your child. What about if you have 3 children in the house? You have to cook 2 or 3 different meals. This makes your job a little bit tough. So definitely do not have a short order cook rules in the house. So just try to get rid of it. Everybody eat the same thing, and everybody's sitting down at the table. So which means you ordered a variety of the healthy food, everybody eating the same thing. But the rules in this one is to try to pairing some familiar, which is the familiar food, like a safe food for your children. So for example, they eat the fish. They're not gonna eat the fried rice. So they can go ahead and eat the fish. They maybe not gonna touch the fried rice at all. So then you don't have to go ahead and make a noodle. So they just eat the fish and that's it. Then we come to the kitchen clothes. The kitchen clothes, which mean if they're gonna just eat the fish, they're not gonna eat the fried rice, they probably go a little bit hungry. So right after the dinner, you're not gonna give them another snack or another different meal again, okay? So the kitchen will be closed until the next meal, which is the snack time. Let's say dinner is at 6 o'clock and the next meal will be at 8 o'clock for snack. Then you just tell them between 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, the kitchen will be closed. You just eat your fish. You're not gonna touch the fried rice. Fine, I'm respect to you, but the kitchen will be closed until 8 o'clock. Then we'll be reopened again. And then maybe we can have a different snack at that time if you're hungry. So the kitchen close is usually a fun activity to do. I usually ask the parents to print out the stop sign, and then you just say, okay, I put the sticker or maybe the paper that you print a stop sign and you put on the fridge or maybe put on the pantry, and the kids not able to really open up the fridge or the pantry all day long throughout the whole night or maybe throughout the whole day. So the kitchen usually close right after the meal time. So they're not unlimited access to the kitchen, go grab whatever they want to eat. So the children will learn the structure. So they know what time to eat. They know what time they need to eat their snack, and then what the food the parents will be offering to them, okay? And then when come to table, okay, so that's now your parents' job, right? So your parents' job is to provide some safe food or a little bit more balance and more variety of food to offer to your children. So 4 to 5 food, which means you're gonna provide something like carbohydrates, you're gonna provide something like proteins and vegetable, or maybe fruit or maybe dairy products, so like milk or yogurt. So at least 4, not probably 3 to 4 food your family will eat during the mealtime, noodles or rice, and then some kind of fish or chickens, and then you have vegetable. So 3 to 4 type of different thing on the table. So even children definitely, so again, now is your job is done. You provide the food, you put on the table, but now your job turn to your kids to decide it they want to eat and how much they want to eat, right? So you provide a safe food. You provide at least 1 food your children will eat. So even they're not gonna touch the broccoli, they're not gonna touch the fish, they eat the rice. So they're not gonna go starve, right? So they eat something, at least they eat something. And then until then the kitchen will be closed until the next meal time. Okay, and then the third one would be that you're serving the same food for everyone. So you're not gonna cook a different meal. You're not gonna cook separately different recipe for your kids. So everyone eating the same thing. You are going to be a role model to show your kids what's the food look like and is okay to eat it. But again, no pressure. without any pressure at all. No bribing and no pressure for them. Okay, so number 4 is to reintroduce new food. So here, the research have been showing that the kids want to accept new food. They probably have to try at least up to 15 times. Okay, so it's not like here tonight, my mom cooked chicken, I eat like 15 times right here. No, it's like 15 different day, okay, or 15 different meal time. So for today, you cook the broccoli. You stir fry the broccoli this way, and your child's not gonna touch it. So next day, you probably will bake the broccoli, or you cook the broccoli into a cheese sauce. You cook different way, but in a different recipe, different way to offer them. So the kids will keep trying, exploring, and then they're seeing the food like more than 15 times or 20 times. Some kids maybe up to 100, depending on the kids' personality, right? So usually it's like 10, 15 times. The kids will start like playing with the food, smelling the food, and then until the end, they will slowly put the food into their mouth. So you have to keep reintroduce, keep offering, okay? Without pressure, without bribing, no restricting, no control over it. And the last one I want to share, this is the funny one. You serve the dessert. You serve the dessert with the dinner time. So lots of parents will say, okay, what about you clean your plate? Can you finish your vegetables? Then you can get ice cream tonight. So like I say, no bribing, right? So no like giving the, don't use food as a reward. I never ask parents to use the food as a reward. So the dessert can be offered as a mealtime. Then parents will be panicking and asking me, are you like really like putting the ice cream as well as the dinner together? The child will not eating the dinner at all. They were just eating the dessert, the ice cream, and then they're done. I say to the parents, don't worry. If you usually tell the kids to to clean your plate, finish your broccoli, finish your vegetable, then you can get a dessert or maybe an ice cream. So the kids will learn that, okay, the ice cream tastes better than the broccoli. Why they have to be the last one to offer, right? So that's something you don't want to send a message to the kids. You want to treat the dessert and the broccoli you cook or the fish that you cook is the same level. Nobody better than the other. So offer them at the same time will usually lower down the children to be like rejecting the food, because they probably see dessert, they are more relaxing. Okay, they not come to the table stressful, and they probably will finish the ice cream first, but they probably thinking, oh yeah, I finished ice cream, then my parents not pushing me to finish my meal, and I probably want to try the rice a little bit. I probably want to try the veggies a little bit. So the point right here, this strategy is to, one, tell parents not to use the dessert as a reward, like the sweet or the treat or the dessert as a reward for like clean your plate or finishing your meal. The second is to treat the dessert and our regular meal as the same level. So nobody is better than the other. Nobody is bad food. Nobody is good food. Everything is the same. Okay, nobody is the best. Like, why you have to wait until the end of the dinner, right? So it can be one of the strategy. If you always tell your kids like clean your plate, nothing works, and then you just kind of want them to clean your plate, then finish like you get a dessert. Why don't you try dessert and dinner at the same time? Okay. All right, so do you guys have any questions? You guys can type some question, let me know what's your struggle. And what do you think? Like, what is the most important when it comes to meal? Is it how, like, again, like what I throw you some idea, like I give you, like say, your feeding rules is what time to feed your child, what food to, like you're providing healthy food, variety food, and where to eat, and your child is decided how much. And now you having a whole new idea in your head, and then so you're sitting down and thinking, what is the most important during the meal time? Is it the food again, or is it what I cook? Is it my recipe? I have to get a magic recipe or a magic ingredients, magic wands, and then that my kids will suddenly be a good eater? No, I think the most important when it comes to mealtime is your family. Okay, everybody. So as a parent or as a caregiver, I know everybody is busy, and some of the family I deal with, they probably work until like quite late. Then they have to go to daycare and pick up their kids by the end of the day, and everybody eating in a different time. So, but by the end of it, eating as a family meal doesn't have to be every day. So try throughout the week, try at least once a day or maybe 3 times a week. Okay, so the family meal doesn't have to be like mom have to cook a very fancy meal or a yummy meal and put on the table. Doesn't have to. You can be a breakfast. So before you go into school, before you go into work, everybody is sitting down and eat the breakfast together without the TV, without iPads, without your phone. Okay, so everybody just sitting down, having having fun, not crying or complaining about the food, just sitting down and everybody eat together, enjoy the food, and sharing the food. So this is the whole concept, not just saying that what you have to feed your kids, rather than how. So sitting together as a family, I maybe want everybody try to do it tonight, because during MCO I had seen lots of people like cooking at home, and yeah, so this is probably a good time for the parents really spend time and sitting down with the kids and eat with them, and especially lunch or dinner time. And you probably will observe in a different type of personality from your kids when it comes to feeding, because everyone will be different, and what you say to your kids will how they respond, and that can be something that you learn from them, and also you learn from yourself, and what to switch your feeding rules. Like if you're really controlling for a certain thing, maybe you might want to relaxing a little bit and let them decide, right? Okay, so anybody have any questions regarding what I'm showing everybody? I think then we can show some of the questions. If somebody asking me, let me close down.
Hello, Miss Yati.
Yes. Hi.
Yes. Hi, thank you so much for the sharing. And then I really got a brand new concept, like including, I really love the idea of putting the stop sign saying that the kitchen is closed, and also serving the dessert. That's something that I never thought of, because exactly like what you said, we feel kind of weird when you say like that, because you have dessert there and then you have your proper food there, and then you'll be thinking maybe the kids wouldn't touch the proper food anymore like that.
And I tried it for my son as well. And one day he gets like some party bag from school, like some lollipop, like some candy from school. He cannot wait until like dinner to open up the party bag. Like he just wants to eat right away. And then I just test it for him. I say, maybe you just eat it with your dinner. And then most of parents, I say, you offer your dessert with the dinner, and parents will say, are you like really like they probably not gonna eat everything I offer, they just eat the dessert. No, actually the kids will be like the kids will very excited, and then they forgot about the parents pressuring them to finish their meal, and then they're focusing on the candy, they're focusing on the dessert, and at the same time they still have food here, right? They still have food here, and then they probably will lick the candy a little bit and then have 2 bites of the rice and things like that, right? So it's something that fun that you can try in your house, like if you never thought before. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's it is very usual that most of like maybe grandparents, they will have this kind of offer. You finish your food first, you will have your ice cream later, and so on.
Yes.
So besides that, right, I have a few more questions here. I do not have kids, but I do have, picky eaters, niece and nephews. So I have quite a lot to ask you right here.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, right, what if so like you said, because you can actually offer the dessert together. So what if really they have, after they finish their desserts and they don't feel like eating their food anymore? It's fine?
If they finish the dessert, they don't feel like eating the food anymore. So use the kitchen close strategy. So you tell your kids, okay, let's see. Okay, mommy know that you finish your dessert. So this is your plate. You're not finishing this. Then I'm gonna let you know. the next meal is not gonna happen until like 7:30 or 8 o'clock, okay, before bedtime, whatever. Or maybe next morning. Some kids will finishing dinner, they go right away to the bed, right?
Yeah.
So no more food. So kitchen will be closed, and so until the next 2 hours. So the kids will suddenly will kind of catch up with the structure, and oh yeah, so I'm just finished my ice cream or my candy, but I didn't eat at all, the rice, the fish, the broccoli, but I cannot eat anything until 8 o'clock. So the point is to let the kids understand the structure and the routine. We're not letting the kids to come to the fridge or the pantry and grab whatever dessert they want. And so the parents still is as a gatekeeper to keep the children come grazing all day.
And then besides that, right, what if like a kid, right, suddenly stop eating meat, like suddenly stop eating a certain food at all? So should it be bothered, or it's okay, just let it go?
That can happen with a lot of reasons. If they're suddenly not eating meat, so the parents might want to kind of assess or maybe observe throughout the day, like how much protein they offer. Okay, so the protein, which is like we have different kind of protein. So you got fish, you got chicken, you got poultry, maybe you got tofu, you got beans, lentils, peanut butter, eggs. So throughout the day, if they only not eating certain type of meat, but you still can offer different type of protein, right? So you can still you can offer different like tofu, maybe peanut butter for breakfast, or eggs for supper, thing like that. So that can be like trying different type of protein rather than to like really get upset about why they're not eating the chicken and why they're not eating the tofu or whatever. So just skip it. Maybe this only happened like 2 weeks. This is we call food jack, and then the kids will come back to normal, and then they might want to have a different like asking for that. They crave for that as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the case when the kids refuse to eat a certain, say, certain items or certain type of food. So what if the kid just refuse to eat? They just don't like to eat at all.
They don't like to eat. Then I have a lot of reasons. Then there can be one is the kids is not hungry, which is then the parents have to know, like, is it the kid like grazing snack throughout the day, drinking too much of milk, the kids is sick, the kids is not is tired, like by the end of the day they are tired, they have no energy, and if they don't want to eat at all, then we tell them, this is your meal time. If you're not gonna eat, then the next meal is gonna be what time, and you need to wait for 2 hours, and so then we can have your food again, right? So again, the parents have to keep the job, like you offer the healthy lunch and balanced lunch, but the kids not like have appetite to eat at all. Maybe the breakfast is too close. Now the kids is no school. They probably wake up too late. Like my son, sometimes we wake up late and we cannot have brunch. Then the lunch can be pushed back a little bit, right? So then they're not gonna just right through at 12 o'clock they want to eat lunch. You probably need to push back your timing a little bit, like 12:30 or maybe 1 o'clock. Probably 1 o'clock is not your usual time, but this is it because you guys get up late. They're not hungry, maybe we can push back a little bit, right, to try it. But if that keep happening a lot, then maybe we need to see a doctor. Maybe we need to like reassess the children and like what happened. Maybe they're sick. They have stomach ache or something.
Okay, and then besides that, like my nephew, right, he is a little bit special, instead of like choosing only meat or vegetable or anything like that, right, he only chooses curry. He only eats anything that is only curry, that is red or orange in color and spicy.
Maybe they like the stimulation. They like hot and spicy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually bothers my sister a lot as well, because sometimes she doesn't know that whether it's right or not, because my nephew at the time was only like 2 plus, like that, 2 years old. And then she was thinking in such a young age, and then he's like eating a lot of spicy food, don't know whether it's going to be good for the stomach and so on.
Yeah, I think some kids have a very special taster. They like every single like spices. So some kids like that. Some kids maybe pretty bland, like they don't like any like stimulation, they don't like that. So like if the kids like spicy food, great, like use natural spice, and it's a good antioxidant though.
So, is it okay that because he really only picks curry? So, for example, in that case, right, even though be with my mom or be with his mom, we always have to make sure there is a curry or a spicy food for him. So, should we
Yeah.
like try to readjust it, or we should just let it be like that?
So for example, like one of the slides I show you, like you have to offer at least like 3, 4, 5 food during the mealtime. So if your sister, like they offer like, you know, curry, and then on the side, because curry for him is a safe, it's something that he's like it, you for sure, you're 100% sure that he will eat it. So you offer the curry, but beside that, we have 2 or 3 type of option. Maybe we have tofu, then we have stir-fried vegetable, or then we have rice. So for sure, maybe he doesn't like tofu at all. He will just eat the curry, and then he pair with something that he's not familiar with. So which is the broccoli or maybe the rice, and together. So at least he's eating something, even if he's not choosing the tofu. But curry for him is a safe food. At least as a parent, because usually parents is worried about like the kids not getting enough, they're not eating enough calories, and what will happen. So if you offer something, for sure he will eat on the plate, and beside that is something new to him, something you want him to try, and you just keep doing that. The curry can be a dipping sauce too, right? So if your nephew, for example, doesn't like carrot, so you can try to cook the carrot into a curry, or you maybe can encourage him to dip the carrots or broccoli into a curry sauce. And it can be a dipping sauce, like, you know, pairing with something new for him.
All right. And then besides that, right, for example, sometimes when the kids really don't like a certain, maybe we say vegetable, should we like secretly sneak it inside? Or we should just let
I
them
think,
pick?
yeah, most of parents really, they asking like, do you have a recipe? Then, oh, my kid is picky. Do you have a recipe I can cook? There's no magic recipe. Like I said, there's no magic recipe, or you maybe not a good cook. Just because you're not a good cook, that's why you have a picky eater. No, it's not that reason. The problem when it comes to sneaking the vegetable, the kids will think that, oh, the veggie have to be so bad, mom have to sneak it into the meat bowl. Why is so bad? Like why mom have to hide it from me? And by the end, if the kids find out, if you have 4 or 5 years old, they find out, or that's the veggies in something I like, which is the meatball, then the kids will be like, then we will have the trusting issue. The kids will not trust you anymore. Every single recipe that you make, every new recipe you make, the kids will think, mom must be sneaking something I don't like, something green, something like really scary into a new recipe. So you create even a more picky eater that way. So this way, I will usually tell parents, don't sneak the veggies, okay? To be honest, tell your kids, you have the like green leafy vegetable in your meatball, or maybe you have the carrot puree in your sauce or anything like that. So tell them, and at least the kids get information ahead of time. They decide what they want to eat or they want to try. So don't, like, I will never, you can still like do something in the meatball, but be honest to your kids and tell them, hey, mom makes something new today, you want to try? I put don't say sneak, don't say hi, I put the veggies in it. The meatball had veggies, the meatball had meat and onions and all spices. Let's try it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And besides that, we also have a question here. Zoe said, my kid always take a long time to finish his meal. So what's the problem?
Okay, so here come to the parents' rules. So remember I say what to feed and what time and where, right? So the time. So usually the meal time, I tell parents, is between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. The longest is 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So if you have a very slow eater, I don't know how old is her kids, But if you have a very slow eater, the longest you want to keep your child in the table is like 45 minutes. And observe them, like if they're starting to get like very distracted, not interesting in the food and throwing the food, after 20 minutes, get them down, okay? They're not gonna eat it. Do you think that the longest you keep them in a high chair, they're gonna eat it? No. And then it will make you more frustrated. Like you like keep waiting them, like mommy need to do the dishes and can you finish? And yeah, do it faster. It's like this 1 hour is like killing you. So I think if the kids start like showing no interest and throwing food and crying, want to get down, just like get them down and clean the plate, right? So 30 minutes usually is a typical time. I tell parents 30 minutes, but if you have a very slow eater, like very young age, like 2 years old, then you probably will give them like extra 15 minutes and give them warning, like, tell them, oh, hey, you still have 10 minutes to go. Mommy need to clean the table and we have next activity to do. So always give the child a little bit expectation, like what we're gonna do next. Like maybe we go to the park, or maybe we need to go riding a bike, or we need to do like reading storybook. So then we have next activity need to kick on. No, just like waiting here for 1 hour. So yeah, so the mommy probably need to like adjusting the time and but not pushing the kids eat quickly. I mean, like slowly cut back, like from 60 minutes down to 50, down to 45, down to 35, and slowly down to 30 minutes. Because otherwise will like take very long for your whole day, because you had 3 meals to go, then you take 3 hours out of your day, right? Yeah.
All right. Then there's also another question, which is, for example, for those kids who are not sitting on the high chair, just a normal chair, right? So they get to like move freely. So what if they are like not focused on their food, which they'll just run away and watch TV for a bit and then come back and eat again like that?
I think this is a time for the parents to tell the kids table manner, mealtime rules. They need to have a 家规 rules for the kids, sitting down at the table. Okay, tell the kids, hey, if you leave the table, you're not allowed to come back. If you leave the table, which means you finish your meal, I will clean your plate. Everything will be taken away. So the kids need to understand, if they leave the table, which means you are done. So don't let the kids go and come back again. This is not good, and they're not like really focusing how much they're eating. They're not really paying attention about the food texture, the color, thing like that, the taste. So they just get very distracted. So try to keep the kids like at least in the table for 10-15 minutes. If the kids is like I say, they're already distracted, they want to leave the chair, whatever. So tell them, if you leave the table, you want to go watch TV, you want to play your toys, which means you're done. So mommy gonna clean your plate, or so you're not gonna come back for another second bite.
All right. But then I guess that for the starting point, right, for the beginning, it's gonna be quite tough.
Yes.
To actually set all these rules.
Yeah, it seems like it's very easy. Like, yeah, I buy grocery, I cook, and then it's time to eat. I sit on, like, put my baby on baby or my child in a high chair, and then now is their job to decide how much to eat. But when it comes to you looking at the child to eat slow and picking the food, and it's kind of like, yeah, I want to do something, I want to control something, I want to shove the food into their mouth. But is actually saying is easy, but practicing is hard. So that's why doesn't matter it's the grandparents or the parents yourself, or you are anybody living in the house, like teacher or the principal in the school, everybody need to be on the same page. Okay, so if you guys are on the same page and keep the structure tight, and the kids will follow the rules. Yeah.
All right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Yating, for your sharings. We really learned a lot, and also all of them also commented. Thank you for the sharing. Thanks, and so on.
I will read the comments later, probably.
All right. So I personally think that I have a lot to share with my mom, because my mom, as a grandmother to my nephew and niece, right? In the usual days, she has to take care of both of them, and she has been facing lots of problems with that.
Yeah, especially when it comes to nowadays, a lot of parents or even the healthcare profession, we don't really want the parents to chasing the kids to feed them. because you're chasing them behind them, and then they are like playing toys and they are distracted. So what we want to teach the kids is to you learn from eating, right? So you learn the food when come to table, family time, and you learn a lot from it, like parents conversations. Like the last slides I show it to everyone, the most important is not what you cook, not the fancy, like the plates where you're using or whatever. So it's you, is the parents, is the kids, everyone sitting down and we eat together, right? Yeah. So it's like something to change for lots of our like parents or maybe the grandparents to think about. Maybe we should let the kids sit with us together. No more like chasing around, right?
Yeah.
Make the job easy.
I'm definitely going to share with all of them. Thank you so much. Thank you for this sharing. And then, if any parents, if you have more questions to ask, right, feel free to contact Miss Yeting, as well as you can contact Google Kids in order to reach out to Miss Yeting as well.
Yeah, so you guys can follow my Facebook or maybe my Instagram, and then I have a YouTube. I don't really upload a lot, but yeah, it takes time to do a lot of content. But yeah, you can follow my Instagram and my Facebook. I got lots of good info for you guys.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Maybe later on you can also share at the comment section, and then we get to know what's your Instagrams and so on.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
thank
bye-bye.
you. Okay. Bye.